Hey everyone, I hope you're doing okay. We got to day 12 of our reading plan and I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're getting stuff from it. I hope it's really encouraging you. And day 12, we finished the plagues. We've come out of the last one and it's the plague on the firstborn, which is a hard one to stomach and it's tough. But we get after that, and what we get to is the Passover institution. Now, Passover is obviously where the angel goes over the houses of the Israelites, and what God says to Moses and Aaron is, you've got to remember this time. You've got to put a festival, you've got to put a meal in. Every year you're going to remember that this is what I did for you, this is what I've brought you out of, and this is how I did it. And it's quite interesting that God actually does that a lot. He kind of says, you need to remember this, you need to do this repetitively. And it's interesting how much we have to be reminded of what God has done. Testimony is a beautiful word. And testimony, all it means is a story of God's faithfulness. So some people say they have an amazing testimony, and actually I really don't like that, because every testimony is amazing. Every testimony testifies to what God has done. And so even if your testimony isn't as dramatic as, oh, I was in this situation, I was addicted to drugs, or I was homeless, or I was all of this, and now I am this, and I'm working for a church, or I'm speaking to loads of people, or all that kind of stuff. Actually, every testimony is a story of God's faithfulness. It's a story that you say, once you say yes to God, He pursues you, He never gives up, He is relentless, and He is so faithful to you. And I promise you, no matter what your testimony sounds like, it gives life to other people. So please share it. Please share the stuff that God is doing. And if you don't know what God's doing, then I encourage you to start writing stuff down, to start chronicling and journaling stuff, to make a prayer diary or a prophetic journal, or something that helps you remind you of what God has done, because humans are really forgetful. If you read on in the book of Exodus and into Leviticus and Numbers, and what you see is the people of Israel actually forget what it was like in Egypt less than about 10, 20, 30 years on. And you think, actually, if something happened in our country 10, 20 years ago, we'd remember what it was like. People would be still around and they'd be like, yeah, we're not going back to that. Whereas we see humans are actually really forgetful, especially when it's God who's done something, that we we distort the images in our head. So actually, if you write stuff down and you remind yourself constantly, look, this is what God has done. This is how faithful God is. You let people share in it. The Israelites let their descendants share in it and say, look, it multiplies the miracle. It shows everybody who God is and shows everyone how faithful He is. So I really, really encourage you to record what God has done for you, to remind yourself of it, to keep faith. And the song I've got for you today is a song by Maverick City Music. It's called Promises, and there's just a beautiful bit right at the start where it talks about, you're the God of Abraham, you're the God of the covenant, you never fail, you come through on your promises. And we see from the start of this reading plan to the end what God is. God said, I will do this, and He does it. And what I promise you is that whatever's going on, whatever you're thinking through about the situation or situations in your own lives, even if you're in the middle, start or the end of it, God is so faithful, He is so for you, and He is so with you. I hope you've enjoyed this plan. There's a few more days to go, but this is my last one. So have a great day, guys, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.